Hello agents, and welcome back to the Overwatch archived knowledge base Watchpoint O.A.K. Today we'll be focusing on everyone's favourite cyborg ninja. So, sit back and relax as we learn about the story, history and lore of Genji Shimada. To understand the path Genji Shimada has walked through life, one must first understand the family and clan which raised him, along with the mythology and mysticism of the Shimada clan. The Shimadas are the ruling family of the Shimada ninja clan and criminal empire which deals in arms and illegal substances. Their ancestral home is Shimada Castle, located in Hanamura, a village on the edge of Tokyo in the Kanto region of Japan. The Shimada family tells of an ancient legend of two great dragon brothers, the Dragon of the North Wind, a green dragon, and the Dragon of the South Wind, a blue dragon. These dragons form an integral part of the identity of the Shimada family, their seal even depicting the two dragons in harmony. The legend goes that these dragons once upheld balance and harmony in the heavens. This was shattered when the two argued over who could best rule their land, turning into a conflict that darkened the heavens and eventually led to the Dragon of the South Wind striking down his brother. The Dragon of the North Wind fell to earth, sundering the lands below. Mourning the loss of his brother, the grief of the Dragon of the South Wind threw the world out of harmony, and a seed of bitterness and sorrow took root within his heart. The legend tells of a stranger, garbed in green, calling up to the dragon and asking why the Dragon Lord was so distraught. The Dragon of the South Winds explained that in seeking power he had slain his brother, and in so doing had torn his heart asunder. The stranger observed that the Dragon Lord had done an injury unto himself, and that in order to find peace he should walk the world on 2 feet as he does, finding value and peace in humility. The Dragon of the South Wind knelt upon the earth and could, for the first time, see clearly the world around him and became human. The stranger revealed himself to be his fallen brother, and reunited they set out to rebuild all that which had once been destroyed by their quarrels. It is unknown what role these legendary dragons played in the foundation of the Shimada clan. It may be that the clan considered the brothers to be their founders or patrons. The Shimada family may believe themselves to be descendants of the dragons of the North and South Winds, that various members of their family are connected to the Dragon Lords, or that the family is home to the dragons' reincarnations throughout history. What is clear is that members of the Shimada family maintain some spiritual connection with these dragons, which manifests in mysterious ways. The modern day Shimada clan had been led until approximately 10 years ago by Sojiro Shimada. While the assassin's arts was still an integral part of their cultural heritage, the clan was now largely dedicated to the maintaining of its criminal empire, which profited from the trade in arms and illegal substances. Nonetheless, senior members of the Shimada family received extensive ninja training. This included Sojiro Shimada's 2 sons, Hanzo Shimada and Genji Shimada, diminutively and affectionately called Sparrow by his father. Only the eldest son of the Shimada family would be expected to assume the leadership of both the family and the clan. To this end, Hanzo was trained from a young age to assume the mantle of responsibility, while Genji instead grew up reaping the luxury and privileges afforded to him by his family, with no real interest in furthering the family business. Despite this, he excelled in his ninja training. However, his playboy lifestyle had long been considered a liability by senior figures within the Shimada clan. Sojiro largely shielded him from such scorn though. Following the untimely death of Sojiro Shimada, Hanzo assumed the leadership of the family and the clan, and was urged by those same senior figures within the clan to bring his younger brother into line and assume an active role within their criminal empire. Genji refused Hanzo's orders though, and his direction, leading the two to quarrel and come into conflict, which eventually culminated in a fight between them, which left Genji on the verge of death. This was, however, unknown by Hanzo, who had believed his brother to be dead, an act which broke his heart, leading him to both reject and abandon the Shimada clan. Genji had been rescued by Overwatch, who saw the potential and value of having someone with his skill set working for their organisation, especially in their efforts to undermine the Shimada clan's criminal empire. Dr. Angela Ziegler oversaw Genji's cybernization, a process that would see the vast majority of his irrevocably broken body replaced with cybernetic implants. This greatly enhanced his already formidable speed and agility, augmenting his superlative skills as a ninja, and transformed him into a living weapon. Following this process, Genji single-mindedly set out to dismantle his family's criminal empire. During this time though, he became increasingly resentful and repulsed by his largely cybernetic body, causing him great internal strife and profound unhappiness. Genji was assigned to Blackwatch, the covert Black Ops division within Overwatch, and worked alongside such Blackwatch agents as Gabriel Reyes, Jesse McCree, and Moira O'Dearan. After an attack on the Overwatch facility in Oslo, members of Blackwatch travelled to a new Blackwatch facility in Rome following evidence that the high-level Talon member Antonio Bartolotti was behind the attack. The base in Rome was itself soon after bombed on the orders of Antonio, killing many staff at the facility and injuring its supervisor Gerard Lacroix. In retribution for this attack, Genji joined the team that hunted down and ultimately killed Antonio Bartolotti, an act which threw Blackwatch from the shadows into the public light, and which irrevocably damaged Overwatch's public image and international standing. Approximately a year later, Genji was still a member of Blackwatch. He assisted in the training of Lena Oxton following the stabilisation of her chronal dissociation just prior to the Null Sector uprising at King's Row, London. Sometime after this, Genji received an upgrade to his armour and cybernetic implants, marking perhaps his transition from being an agent of Blackwatch to an agent of Overwatch. He was assigned to a team led by Winston to track down noted Talon financier and accountant Maximilian in Havana, in the hopes of securing details on the whereabouts of Talon Council member and de facto leader, Doomfist. Following his capture, Maximilian confirmed that Doomfist would be in Singapore 3 weeks hence, and Genji, along with Winston and Tracer, were dispatched to apprehend him. In Singapore, Genji fought alongside Winston and Tracer to apprehend Doomfist. While Doomfist landed a blow on Winston that temporarily removed him from the fight, Genji and Tracer continued to harass the Talon leader. During the course of the fight, both Genji and Tracer were incapacitated by Doomfist, however Winston was able to eventually subdue him and bring him to justice. During his 4 years with Overwatch, the seeds of self-loathing and unhappiness that had been planted in his heart following his cybernization had continued to grow and take hold of him. Feeling at war with himself and repulsed by his cybernetic body, Genji abandoned Overwatch and instead travelled the world in search of meaning and peace. This quest for meaning and harmony in his life led Genji to travel to Nepal, where he met the Shambali, a religious order of Omnics committed to spiritual enlightenment, healing the wounds of the Omnic crisis, and promoting social harmony and peace between humans and Omnics. There he became a student of the monk Dekata Zenyatta. Although he was initially resistant to their teachings, Genji was eventually able to find the inner harmony he so desperately sought in his life. He came to be at peace with his nature, accepting his cybernetic implants as a part of a greater whole, and would thereafter consider Dekata Zenyatta to be his teacher, mentor, and master. Genji would spend the winter holidays at the Shambali monastery in Nepal with Dekata Zenyatta, where he kept in contact with Dr. Angela Ziegler via letter, sending her a token of his affection in the form of a sparrow's feather. Following the initiation of the Overwatch recall by Winston, Genji decided to travel home to Shimada Castle in the hope of consoling his brother and enlisting his aid in the wars to come. Every year on the anniversary of the day he had believed himself to have killed his brother, Hanzo travelled to Shimada Castle to light incense and leave a sparrow's feather at their family's shrine. Hanzo, believing Genji to be an assassin sent to kill him, and enraged that his mourning for his brother should be disturbed, lashed out at the supposed assassin. In the ensuing fight, Hanzo attempted to dispatch the intruder by summoning and controlling a manifestation of the Dragon of the South Wind and unleashing it upon the perceived assassin, uttering the line "Ruga waka teki wo kurao" to summon the dragons. To his surprise and confusion, his opponent responded with Rujin no Ken Wukure, summoning his own manifestation of the Dragon of the North Wind, with which he was able to control and direct the oncoming attack back towards Hanzo. Defeated and falling to his knees, Hanzo observed only a Shimada can control the dragons, and in conceding defeat accepted his fate, directing the assassin to kill him. The assassin though refused, stating he would not grant Hanzo the death he thought he deserved for having killed his brother, and that Hanzo still had a place and role in the world. The assassin revealed himself to be his fallen brother. Hanzo struggled to accept the return and fate of his brother. Genji though explained that he was, at last, at peace with who he was, and that he forgave his brother for what he had done to him, and that it was time for Hanzo to forgive himself. He explained that the world was once again changing and heading towards conflict, and that it was time to pick a side. Hanzo lashed out at his brother, chastising him as a fool for believing in the stories told by their father. In parting, Genji shared that he may perhaps be a fool for believing there is hope for his brother to find peace, but that he does believe in him still. Genji urged Hanzo to meditate on this, and vanished into the night, leaving only a sparrow's feather behind for his brother. Genji would later resurface in answer of Winston's Overwatch recall, coming to his aid in Paris as it was under attack by Null Sector forces. He was able to deflect the attacks of the Null Sector Titan back at it, damaging the mechanical behemoth and providing a vital point of entry into the inner mechanisms of the giant. This would later be exploited by Winston and Tracer, who endeavoured to place a modified pulse bomb inside of the Titan. As the Titan attempted to block Tracer's attack by swatting her with its hand, Genji was able to cut it in two, enabling Tracer to get inside and plant the bomb. With Paris saved and Winston announcing the return of Overwatch, Genji became one of its founding members and would travel back to Watchpoint Gibraltar with the team. At some point later he would travel to his master and friend Takata Zenyatta at the Shambhala Monastery in Nepal. Only time will tell if Hanzo will be able to reconcile his feelings about his brother and forgive himself for what he had done. Meanwhile, Genji continues to believe in his brother, to hold out hope and an olive branch that they might one day reunite and fight together as brothers for the betterment and peace of the world. Thank you for watching and for joining us here at Watchpoint O.A.K. We hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then please like and share it with your friends and fellow Overwatch or Talon agents. Don't forget to subscribe and to hit the bell icon if you'd like to receive notifications of when we post more Overwatch lore videos in the future. Head on over to our Twitter for the latest updates, and we look forward to welcoming you back to Watchpoint O.A.K very soon.